Great. So this is the brand equity workshop for why I love this workshop is like we have the most interesting mix of people in this call. We have people, we have personal brands, we have people that are running agencies, we have people that are running fashion, skincare, everything. Like it's a wide range. And we've tailored the workshop in a way that it cuts across everything that's across different industries. So what I want you to do is, of course, I'm sure you're with your notes and all. I want you to just take everything in and just see how you can apply it. So we make it as broad as possible so it can be all encompassing so that you can find an application in your industry and all. So yeah, that's how it's going to be. The workshop is brought to you by Cryptos. Quick intro. Cryptos is the brand agency that I run, but we actually have superstars in there. I'm just a messenger and all. We have awesome people that do great stuff. So we do brand identity, brand strategy, websites, applications, product design, manufacturing. And for all the things we don't do, we work with trusted partners like content creators, social media managers, manufacturers across the world, and everything to have it. So this is possible by them. They dropped the facilities for this to happen and all. So yeah, let's get into it and all. So right now, if you sign up for this workshop, you're probably in a situation where you already have an existing business. Throughout the screening process, my team ensured that we tailored this to people that already have existing business and already making in revenue. I'm sure when you were filling out the form, you were wondering why that was so. And that's because the points that we'll be raising are for people that are already practicing, for people that are already in business, right? And they'll be able to apply it better to everything they want to do, right? Now, like many businesses, you have sales, right? People come into, I'm hoping you have sales. So we all know the typical business process, right? The people are interested in what you want to do, you convince them, and yeah, they buy your products. Now, at those different points, there are different things that happen and there are different challenges. However, for your case, you already have a product. Maybe you've even been selling a product or service for a couple of years. You have an existing customer base. You do everything awesome. But when you come online, you see a disconnect. You see people that are not even doing as good as you with, let's say, more followers, more engagement. You hear their name in the industry, in private events, and it seems that they are doing way better than you, even though you know that the quality of your product or service flaws theirs, right? And it becomes a problem to you. Then you see, you try to start feeling bad, even though business is actually going good, but you know it could actually be better. You know that you're leaving a lot on the table, and we're here to fix that today. What we're trying to do is to see how you can move from being another business to a timeless, valuable brand, right? Now, if you notice, another business, I'm sure many people must have wondered, okay, what do you mean by this? It's a saying popularized by Chris Do. In fact, if you don't know Chris Do, by the way, is one of the great guys when it comes to branding, and yeah, he's an awesome man and all. He gave a quick illustration where he outlined what the difference was between a business and a brand. And we're going to distill that a bit before we go into how we can evolve from being a business, to a brand. Because not just any brand, but a timeless, valuable one. So one that stands the test of time and is also valuable for people that are interested in it. Right. So now I'm going to open the floor, right? I'm going to ask this question that we can all see now. In a business, what is the goal? As if you have a business right now, what's the goal of the business? So you can drop comments or you can unmute yourself. Anyone's fine. Ola.
To maximize profits.
Awesome. I love that. Peace. Yes, to make impact and profits. That's very good. That's immediately you hear business. That's the first thing that comes to your mind. It's all about making profits, making sales. Thank you, Bim Sola. And that's it. You're very correct. So in the business, our primary goal is to make money, right? That's why we all start doing business. Now, after we make money, the next thing we want to do is sell something to make that money. because we are not fraudsters. We know that, or unfortunately, humanity has not evolved to a place in which we can start growing money on trees. So we have to sell something to make money. We need to collect that money from somebody, right? Now, we now have to find someone that we're willing to sell, that's willing to buy that thing that we want to sell to. That's basically what a business is. And like many people here, you must have thought about it before you start a business. I need to make this money. You'll be following all the billionaire mindset pages, and you're like, I have to buy my Lambo truck and everything. So yeah, that's it. And you have the genius idea. Finally, you have something that you want to sell, and interestingly, you find people that you want to sell to. It must be a genius, right? And like everything is going fine. And in your mind, the next few months, you're the next Elon Musk, right? And you're raking in billions, and everything is doing fine. However, you forget that we're not living in a vacuum. And that same idea that you have, a lot of people have it as well. A lot of people also want to be Elon Musk. A lot of people also want to fly in private jets. And you start your business, and all of a sudden, you notice that everybody is trying to fight for $1, and there are a lot of Elon Musks. And in fact, it becomes so crazy that you start becoming confused, and people start being lost in the crowd and all. And the fancy goal that you had of being Elon Musk is now shaking. And now, this is the reality of many business people, right? They come to a situation where they see that they are flawed, and there's a lot of problems going down, and people are fighting for the same dollar. It becomes a battle. How does it become a battle? One day, one business will say, "Oh, we're reducing our price," and automatically everybody in that category comes and say, "Oh, more, these people are selling this thing for a cheaper price. We are losing customer value." They reduce the price. It becomes a competitive thing. Everybody has to reduce their price to ensure they get that same person's dollar. The next week, another person wakes up and says, let's make our product better. And all of a sudden, we are here sitting down how we can ensure that we make our product better so that we also don't lose the same customers. And gradually, little by little, we see that we fade off as the competition tries to swallow us. And it's not a nice thing. It's a real battle, and that is not sustainable. What do we need to do? We need to become a brand. So again, I'm very curious to see our opinions on branding. I'm sure a lot of people have different opinions on what a brand is, and don't worry, they're not wrong answers. If you're in this call, you have a good idea of what a brand is. So again, can anybody help me with what they think a brand is?
Hi, Mofe. I think that brand is just perception.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Brand is basically perception.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. I love that. Brand is perception. Thanks, Kingsley. Any other person?
Hi, everyone. My name
Hello,
is
Ola.
Ola. I just wanted to say that I think a brand, to write on what you said, is perception of what your customers, it's your customer's perception of your business, if that makes sense. Like your client's perception of your
Yes,
business.
that's
That's what your brand is.
beautiful. Those answers are very correct. In fact, we could spend the next 30 minutes analyzing what a brand could be. Yusuf just said it's a perception that keeps evolving. All answers are correct. Now, because this workshop is all about brand equity, we are going to pick one of the branches of what a brand could be. And in this context, we are going to define a brand as something that people have a strong feeling for that transcends the rational. Yes, branding is all about perception. You are very correct and all. Now we want to interpret it in this format, right? Something that people have a strong feeling for that transcends the rational. The feeling could be positive, the feeling could be negative. However, they feel something towards it. That is the difference between one of the key differences between a business and a brand. And when we say it transcends the rational, it means that because they love the brand, because it's a brand, they are willing to spend extra thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to purchase that thing, all because they love the brand and it is no longer a business, right? Now, what does this mean? I want you to think of your best friend right now. Everybody here. If you don't have a best friend, like one person in this call I know, think of your three closest friends, right? And just think of them for a second. Now, can you're definitely having some feelings, right? I'm hoping they're positive feelings. I hope your friend didn't borrow money from you last week and right now you're not feeling so good towards them. All right. I'm hoping it's a positive feeling. And I want you to think about why you call them your best friend or why you call them your close friend. Just for a second, think about it. Why is this person my best friend? And a couple of things might cross your mind. Maybe a particular situation where they came through for you, or a subtle thing that they did for you, and you realize that I got this person, and this person is in my corner. Under everything, there's a subconscious feeling, a gut check, where you just know that this person got you, and you got that person as well. Your best friend is your best friend because it supersedes anything that words could say or anything that people think they are. Two of you just connect. They just get you and you just get them. And now we ask ourselves, how can I be a true friend to my target audience? Something that will make our target audience say, oh, we just get each other. The brand gets me. I get them too. That is the point that we want to get to. Now, the $1 million question is when we do that, we are now going to escape the competition because at that point, they are blind to every other person. Just like the way when we think of people, we think of our best friend first, we escape competition, and that's where we want to head to. Now, how do we move from being another business to a timeless, valuable brand? Now, if we were to ask each other that who is a friend, I'm curious to know how you define a friend. A very short, like in one word or two word, who is a friend? Who would you consider a friend? The open floor.
Okay. Hi, Mufe. I
I can say
Someone.
again. Then I'll
sorry. Was that
Alaria Jones.
and
Larry Jones. Yes, you come after Kingsley.
okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. I think that a friend is someone you have a purpose alignment with, or someone you sort of have uh share same vision, right?
Awesome. Thanks, Kingsley. That's one way of seeing a friend. That's correct. Larry Jones, please.
Okay, personally, for me, a friend is someone that I've created a solid story with.
I
Is
love
it?
that. I love that. So you created a solid story with peace.
Yes, so a friend is someone who is like there for you, who like knows sort of like knows everything about you, and you guys like relate because like yeah, you guys have been there for each other basically.
Yes, I love that. And Gaffy, finally. Gaffy, we can't hear you, but you are unmuted. Okay, anybody in the chat box? Okay, awesome. So from what
You are muted. We can't hear you.
wow, I cannot I finally somebody has said that during this call. I thought so I had a side deal that somebody will not say that you are muted and I just lost it. Thank you very much. So yeah, a friend means different things to different people, right? And we have seen that you cannot just be it's relative, right? And everyone cannot love you, right? I remember seeing this tweet, I think somewhere late last year, and they actually dawned on me that everyone cannot love you. Like it's not just possible. What are you, oxygen? Everyone cannot love you, right? Some people will not just like you, and that's the way things go, right? And it's very true. We have a saying over here in this part of the world that one man's meat is another man's poison. And when we try to understand that, we look at our friend that this person that is our friend interestingly, is also another person's number one enemy. The same person, right? So the qualities that we have will just automatically resonate and connect with somebody. And that's just the way it works. And we have a very good illustration of people that have mastered this awesomely. Now, if you look at all these pictures, everybody here, they all have one thing in common. They're controversial people, right? If we take each person, we can say something about each person. However, another thing that is also common across board is that they have a loyal and strong fan base. Each one of them stands that will literally die for them. And that's because they've chosen the hill that they want to be on, right? And they've gotten their crowd, they've gotten their tribe. Every other person doesn't apply. So, as brands, we want to have that kind of feeling. We choose our people. However, how do we know the people that we are choosing? We need to know our targets, right? The one person that we are trying to do everything for. I'm sure that everybody on this call is familiar with the concept of a target audience, which is basically that one person that we're trying to sell something for, right? And the most important thing about them, or the first thing that we need to know, is to actually know everything about them. What's their background like? What are the things that excite them? Things as deep as even knowing their spiritual orientation, their taste, their backgrounds, their aspirations, the things that drive them. I'm sure everybody sees this every time. But from over the years, I've actually noticed that many brands, and you'll be very surprised, many brands, I can confidently say at least 65% of people don't actually have a very defined target audience, have a defined target and know everything about them. They just do it on paper, right? And if you don't know this, you begin to have a domino effect where everything that you do, if actually it becomes a problem because you don't know who you are targeting, right? And I hear something very almost every time during workshops where people say that our product is for everybody and everybody can use it. Like, it's not just one person and all. If you look at this slide that we have here, can someone point to me which one the target is? Where's the bullseye here? Yeah, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets. And in 5 targets, there is no target again. So the first thing you need to do is to actually focus on only one person, right? That is your main person you're talking about. Now, obviously, your product and your service will not serve only that target. Some other people will benefit, but they are just getting the trickles. They are not the primary people that you are trying to build brand equity for. You have your people. Every other person can enjoy everything that flows down, but you're about your people. Now, if we do the research properly, and by the way, at the end of this call, I think on Monday, we'll be sharing the template that goes along with it. In the template, there's a section to help you create your target audience, right? So that you actually do it and know everything that matters to your target audience. And I'm going now to why this is important, right? Because if we know our target audience, we can be able to give them the perfect offering, right? The perfect offering basically is the thing that we're trying to sell to them. So for you, it could be your product, it could be your service, or yeah, it's one of those two things, either your product or your service. Because we now know our target audience properly, we are able to give them the perfect offering, the thing that we know will solve that need that they are trying to go for. Now, when it comes to the perfect offering, we're now talking about moving beyond just your product, right? And because all the competitors are basically offering the same product in some way, probably different colors, different flavors, and all, but it's the same thing. Now, I want to introduce you to a concept called value stacking. Some of you might be aware of it. If you're not, I'll quickly run through it. And it's popularized by Alex Omozi. So basically, what value stacking is all about is we want to find a way in which we can create the perfect offer, an offer that is irresistible, an offer that has no substitutes, an offer that only our brand can put forth. What do we mean? In value stacking, your main product, for instance, we're going to use, let's see, a hair brand, for instance. So as a hair brand, let's say I sell wigs. That is my offering, right? However, as we all know in this call, there are thousands of hair vendors, even though 10% of them are scams, but yeah, but story for another day. But yeah, there are thousands of hair vendors, right? And they're all trying to sell the same thing, wigs. Now, how can I create the perfect offer in a sea of people that are literally chasing the same person's dollar? Now, here's an idea. To value stack, what I need to do is I sit down because I've already done a proper research session on my targets. I know everything that matters to them. I also know the things around the product that matters to them. So for instance, I start with it on my landing page or wherever they are going to convert to become customers, or even in my primary communications. And I think about it and I say, okay, firstly, when you let's give our weak business a name. Someone should give me a name, a random name.
First company.
Mofes company, Damilola. Wow. Wow, Damilola. I will score you on that later. So Mofes wigs basically, right? So Mofes wigs wants to sell the wigs. And we say, okay, when you buy your wigs with Mofes wigs, you get a free wig guide on the best type of wigs for different face shapes and different face feature. A free PDF that you get when you get a wig from us. In fact, this is before you purchase. So on your story highlight, for instance, you already see the free wig guide. We're already offering that. I'm already value stacking. That's one level. Level two, we can also offer a free 15 minutes virtual consultation to know the best wig for your face shape, right? Can you see? I've added another value. I've stacked up again. Three, we could say we give you the free ability to customize your wig. You could change the color, you could change the length and everything at no extra cost. Another stack of value. Four, we could communicate that we use high quality materials for our wigs. Our wigs are made from this, and this, and nobody else. Many people are doing that, but we highlight that we're doing it. Four, we could say satisfaction is guaranteed. If you buy your wigs from us, I do not know how long we last, so please don't hold me accountable to this. Let's say 12 months. Please let me know if that's close to something. A 12-month guarantee that your wig will be fine in 12 months or something, right? Yes. Taiwo, do you wear wigs? Taiwo Idris, do you wear wigs? If you don't wear wigs, you're not qualified to comment on this. So if you give them a 12-year guarantee, a 12 month guarantee, please don't give them 12 years guarantee. I'm not there. Don't say the Mofed, I said 12 years, right? So we stack and we add another value, a 12-month guarantee, right? 5 years, okay, whatever you say, 5 years, 5 years guarantee. And we add another stack. We say, when you buy your wig with us, yeah, okay, you're right. When you buy your wig with us, you get 2 free aftercare sessions within the first year of purchase, right? So when you get it from us, we will take care of it, we'll clean it up for you for free, up to 2 times within the first year of purchase. Another value, we stacked it. The next one, we could add another level again and say, oh, we have a free one-time wig installation at a partner salon in select cities. So if you're in Lagos, if you're in New York, if you're in London, go to Ola's salon in those places and they will install this wig free of charge with you as long as you buy it from Mofes Wigs. And finally, we could even say we get a 10% discount on our lashes that we also sell a complimentary product as well. Now, see what we did here? We've gotten so many things, so many values, so many offers, and we've stacked everything together and everything is bundled. Obviously, as entrepreneurs, we know that all those margins will be calculated inside the wig product. But at that point, when the person is thinking about when to buy their wig, they are no longer making a decision based on the wig alone. They are making a decision based on a lot of factors. You cannot be compared to any other wig vendor that will just ship the wig to you once you pay. And because of this, we can afford to set a price, a premium on our own wigs. Because when someone thinks of it like, who else is actually doing this? Nobody. We've literally created our own space to play in. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the concept of value stacking. And I would love to see how you apply it in your businesses as well. Right? Now, when it comes to all this, there's an infinite there's an infinite thing when it comes to all this, and it's all about the concept of value and price, right? Now, everything that we do is always on this seesaw, right? Where the higher the price, the higher the value. And when we want to set the rate of it, we also consciously think about the value that we're getting for. Also, I'm great. I'm glad I was helpful, Shola, Adishola. So yeah, we try to excuse me. Yeah, we proceed to say, okay, we want to set a value on the price. Now, I noticed one or two of the people that fill their forms, and people were talking about either demand being low and demand being high. And this is the fact, right? So when you're doing your business and your demand is very high, right? You have a lot of leads, like you are overwhelmed with leads. People are always wanting to buy. Most cases, your price is just too low, right? And that's just fact. Your price is too low. You do not have it, and capacity. You do not have capacity to attend to them. And one thing that's popularized by a lot of people, and I would like you to consider it, is just try doubling your prices. It sounds crazy, right? But double your prices and see what will happen. Interestingly, at the same time, a lot of people that complain about too little leads, many people are not interested in their product. It's because they're charging too low. So I want to buy a vehicle, for instance, and the vehicle worth like 25 million, and I see your ad and you say you're selling yours for 18 million. Immediately, all the bells in my head as a Nigerian man goes off and like, what if it's scam me? Which for your non-Yoruba people is this person wants to take the money that I've earned free of charge, right? And something just goes off in our head. And I want you to think about that. Are my offerings price actually too low that people don't actually believe that I can give them the value that is worth that price? Think about that. However, because it's always has to be in balance, as we increase the price, we also want to increase the value, which is where value stacking comes up. So when we value stack so high, right, we can increase our price as well. You don't want to value stack and put your prices low, which is going to make people say, what's really actually happening here, right? So it's a never-ending dance, right? A never-ending waltz to ensure that we have strike the right balance between value and price. And I'm going to give you a very quick illustration to um, take this home. So what you're seeing right now is an invoice for a logo design. This is 2019. I remember, and this is not Cryptos, by the way. This was a former company before Cryptos, and we're charging 30,000 naira for a logo. 30,000 naira. 30,000 naira. I'm going to whip up my calculator real quick so that we see how much that is in dollars. So let's say $26, basically, right? Taiwo, I need to remove you from this call at this point because you just told me you're charging 5K for a logo. Are you using Corel Draw for your logo? So yeah, we're charging 30,000 naira for our logos, and there was demand, as you can imagine. There was demand. There was demand, a lot of demand. And one day my mentor told me, Mufe, double your prices. And I looked at him. Sir, I'm just a Unilag student. I'm trying to make ends meet. You say I should double my price. How will I eat? How would I send money to the house? And I was like, no, it's not possible. We'll lose customers. And we doubled the price, 100,000. The demand did not drop. We literally doubled it to, 60,000 rather. The demand did not drop. And we're like, what's happening over here? And mind you, we did not value stack. We did the same thing, the same logo for 60,000 naira now. To the same people that were paying us 30,000 paid us 60,000 naira. And new people also paid us 60,000 naira. And we were like, I remember telling a friend that, wow. And they were just looking at us. They could not say, increase your price. And they were just laughing at, bro, are you kidding me, fam? And we increased the price again to 100,000 naira. In fact, I think one or two people on this call must have patronized us when we were charging 100,000 naira for our logos. And we didn't still increase anything. We still did the same logos that we're doing. Nothing changed in our delivery, right? Then we increased it to 150K. And then we noticed a little drop in demand, right? So what did we do? We added some features to it. So it's not just a logo, we added some other things like that. And we kept on going, right? We kept on increasing it. We moved from doing just logos to doing brand identities. And we moved from 100,000 to 250,000 to 500,000 to a million. And right now, our brand identity starts at 15 million naira for the same thing that we're doing for 30,000 naira in 2019. But obviously, we've created a value stack in which when you're doing your brand identity with us, you're not just getting the logo, you're getting a complete system where everything that you need to do is fine. And When I remember putting this invoice on this slide, and I was literally like for 10 minutes, I was down memory lane. I was like, what was I doing? And I'm sharing this story because I know more than one person on this call is in a similar situation right now. As long as what you're doing is good. As long as what you are doing is good, as long as you are actually delivering your service, as long as you know what you are doing, charge correctly, right? I remember a time when I was speaking with my partner, and Craft was my work partner, and we're talking about somebody that we went to hire, and the person was so good. And person, we asked typical interview process, and the person gave us a price. And I remember speaking with him and telling him that we cannot give this person this money. And it sounds funny, but to be honest, it was just too ridiculous. And we told him to increase it, right? Actually doubled it, and he doubled it and all. And I remember a few months later, he came to us and he said, since he doubled it, his life was better. Why? Because demand, the amount of things he was churning out reduced. He could put more time into the quality of the work. So you see the stress that you're also going through. You come back from work, you're so tired. If you increase your price, the money will go up, right? Even if the worst case scenario, the demand drops, you're still getting around the same money. But trust me, most times you're getting more money and you can focus on your craft and actually do better things. So charge correctly. Now, beyond the perfect offering, we want to assume that even if we do the perfect offering, because the universe is the universe, someone might copy us, right? So we want to go beyond that. And I'm already 40 minutes in, and we are almost halfway. Not halfway, but yeah, we're going on. So I will just speak through a bit and still forward questions so that we can have an open floor, right? So we want to go beyond the perfection, the perfect offer, right? And the first step in doing that is creating a common ground. Or what do we mean by that? If you look at most of the brands, you will notice that they usually have mission. And of course, we have mission, vision, and everything. That's a story for another day, and how some people jumble everything up. But basically, we're saying that everybody has a need and everybody has a reason for doing things, right? So for instance, if you were to invite 5 ladies to dinner and they all came in these 5 brands, one came in a Nike tracksuit, another one came in a Gucci atelier dress, next person came in an Andrea Yama two-piece, and the last person came in a typical body hug fashion nova that you see in many places, in places where people eat order a lot of pasta, right? Immediately from all the things that they wear and they all come together, immediately you judge them, right? You know the kind of person that they are. Why? Because their mindset and everything all about them is reflected in that brand. And those brands know that those are their kind of people, right? And they are united with that common ground and that mission. So that's the first thing you want to do when we want to go beyond the perfect offer. We need to find a common ground between us and our targets. Next, we want to create a unique, beautiful, and recognizable identity. Why? Because people just prefer beautiful things. This is not theory, it's actually fact. I know there's a product designer on this call, right? There's a book on the universal laws of design, right? And there's a chapter there about beauty. And it actually says, that people prefer to look at beautiful faces than faces that are not beautiful. Like, it's just comfortable. It's a psychological thing, right? When something is beautiful, we rest on it. When something is not beautiful, by default, we want to take our eyes away from it. Are people taking their eyes away from your brand because it's not beautiful? On the left, we have a page where they sell bags. From their grid, you can already see the kind of brand that they are, screenshotting WhatsApp status and everything. And on the right, you can see what happened after they took the love of God into their lives and they elevated themselves. It's a fictional brand, by the way. And with those two things, you get two different perceptions, even if it's the same brand, right? So you need to invest in your identity, and that is just fact, right? Next, you need a story that weaves everything. So once you have a mission and you have a unique, beautiful, and recognizable identity, you want to create a narrative in which you can communicate that mission to the person. Now, when you communicate that mission, you do it with beautiful text, beautiful images, and everything. And the point of that is not selling just a product, but an emotion behind it, right? Now, I want you to look at this jar. This is a jar of body cream. And I want two people to go, right? So the first person will give us a quick product description without a story. How a junior would typically describe this. And the next person should think about a story that is about this cream that will make people want to buy it and see how we can weave the mission and everything together. So who wants to go first? Taiwo, please.
Okay, since I'm the one collecting 5K, let me just give the junior description. So the body cream bottle is 12 by 16 centimeter dimension. Weight is 70 kg. Color is ash. White body, plastic body. Comes in different sizes. So I think I did justice with my 5K description. Thank you.
Perfect. Jumia couldn't do better. Thank you. So now who wants to give us a storified description?
Okay, let me try. Taiwo said the color is ash. Okay. As a girl who grew up with dry skin, I had to create something, for that would ensure that I'm moisturized all day. So as a girl who has short skirts, short dresses, but has dry skin on her feet or on her legs, I wanted to create something. And so, yeah, that was the birth of this formula. Our all day moisturizing body butter in a beautiful travel size. So that means you can take this on your trip. You can keep it in your bag. You don't even need a touch up, but it's like, it's portable. You can travel with it. So yeah, it's about our all day body butter with the ash color cover. Yeah, So that's my story.
So beautiful. I love that, Ola. Thank you very much. That was awesome, right? So and yeah, by the way, this Ola cheated because she actually sells this products like this. So I'm sure that she just went into second brain to like bring out the description and also Ola. Yeah. So you can see the difference between those two things, and the one that will make us part with our money easily. We want to lean into that, right? And we want to communicate everything consistently. Like that's the point of the stories and the identity and everything. Why? Because that is brand equity. And in one word, that's just what it means. I choose you. Brand equity happens when all these things happen back to back, when someone chooses us for it. And how do we build that brand equity? We figure out how to become a friend to our targets. We create the perfect offer and deliver it properly. We find common ground. We craft a beautiful, unique, and recognizable identity, and we tell our story consistently. Screenshot the slide, please, or note it down. This is how we build brand equity. Now, we built this brand equity. It's time to add some magic. We know we've done this to our targets, and we want to do something where we can multiply the effect of this. Come in one of the greatest things that has happened utilizing, I'll just call it technology, and it's called community, right? And basically, community is a concept of having all these things we've talked about, all these things that we're doing for a target audience. We want to make it scale. I'm sure everybody here as founders and entrepreneurs, we understand the importance of scale. Everything that we're trying to do, we want to increase our money. And community is a super tool that can allow us. Okay, I'm going to take this back for you. And yeah, there you go. Great. So community, we literally have So if you sign up to my newsletter, we had an issue on community. That's the URL. You can go to Radio Up where I go deep dive on how to do it. But I'm going to touch some of the things over here. We are we're running out of time already, right? But basically, the concept of a community is what? It's a tribe where you offer value to people with similar interests who are united by a mission that your brand's offering can solve. A tribe. A tribe is what? A collection of your target audience. You offer value. We've already considered what value is. Similar interests. Those are the things that bring them to us. They're united by a mission, the common ground that we've spoken about, that our brand's offering can solve. Now, the mission can be anything, all right? Our mission doesn't have to be as grand as SpaceX having humanity becoming a multiplanetary species. The mission can be as simple as quenching thirst. That is it. So we now want to create a tribe of people who have similar interests and are united by that mission, right? Now, when it comes to community, here's a quick warning. We're not talking about building followers or another email list. If it's that one, you can go and meet your sales and marketing courses for that. There's a time for that, and this is not it. We are building communities in this section right now. What's the difference? Now, if you're building a community and you're all about followers and everything, remember that we are doing all this eventually to build brand equity, right? We are doing this to ensure that people choose us. And to make people choose us, they need to be as close to our target as humanly possible, right? If not, what's going to happen? We'll just have numbers, right? And when it's time to convert them to lead, when we actually want to sell our offer, the percentage of people that will actually be interested in proceeding with it will be very small. And we'll just have people look at, 1 million followers, they must be making in millions of dollars. But they're just influencers, not business owners. Choose your path carefully. Now, when it comes to the community, there's only one thing that can make it possible, and it's content. It is literally the oxygen of community building. Without content, we cannot attract the people that we want to attract, right? And the kind of content that we're talking about here is value-giving content. Now, I would just want to quickly also let you know that when we talk about value, we tend to think about it as education. Value is not education alone. Value can also be entertainment. Value can be deals and discounts. Value can be inspiration, as long as it is something that you know that your target audience will be interested in. Again, you see the importance of having a well-defined target audience, because then we can know what they will actually be interested in, what they will consider value, right? Now, how can we make content actually work? I realize that many people ask questions about this. And the first one is to offer true value. Like, you know when something is valuable and you know when something is not valuable. We already know that. And if you are putting things out that you know that this thing is substandard, imagine what people that don't give 2 coins about you are also thinking about, right? So ensure that you're offering actual true value when you're doing stuff. And your content must be of high quality. There are hundreds of millions of people that are trying to get the attention of the same person that you're trying to get attention to. We have gotten to a point where substandard quality is not acceptable again. To cut through the noise, you need to invest money. You need to invest time. You need to invest manpower and resources to ensure that your content is quality, right? And that does not also automatically mean to blow, but at least you get a head start. And of course, consistency. Consistency trumps everything. Now, consistency does not mean post every day. Please. Consistency does not mean, Mufe said I must be consistent. Okay, I wake up tomorrow. First thing after I wake up and I pray, I have to post WhatsApp status, from WhatsApp status to Telegram, from Telegram to LinkedIn, from LinkedIn to TikTok, from TikTok to Twitter, from Twitter to Instagram, from Instagram to X, from X to YouTube, from YouTube to Discord. That is not consistency. You will burn out. And if you burn out, the time you are going to use to heal, you will leave a lot of money on the table. And the other Elon Musk will take everything. Consistency just means picking a schedule that works for you and sticking to it. Simple. If consistency is posting once a week, one high quality content that offers true value, and you do it every week, you are consistent. As long as the schedule works for you, right? Good. And Get to the flyer. And I mean it with every vein, cell, muscle, and fiber in me. Stop posting flyers, please. I feel like calling a brand out, right? But I'd rather use the money for retreats for cryptos people than for lawsuits. So yeah, but stop doing ugly flyers. We all know the kind of flyers I'm talking about. Every time you want to create a flyer and you go and meet your graphic designer that is not collecting 5K for the poster to design the poster, always ask yourself, what better format can this information be presented in than a flyer? And when you must do the flyer, please ensure that it's a work of art and something that's actually beautiful, right? Good. Yes, Faith, that was definitely a shade. Now, where do we do all of this? All these things we're talking about. I want you to picture a compound, right? A gated compound. And in the compound, there is a fence over here, right? The whole compound is fenced. And what we're trying to do is, with the content that we've spoken about, I want you to imagine the content is a signpost that is at the entrance of the compound. As different people pass through the journey of life and they're outgoing everything, our high quality content that we put out consistently that offers true value is a signpost that lets people know that come into this space, come into our community where you're going to see more of this content, right? And we want to invite them into this place. Now, this community, this place, this is a place where people will now come and consume most of these things. Now, what are examples of this community, these platforms that people do all these things? They are your social media pages. So think Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Basically, any platform that has a low barrier of entry, that the only thing that people are exchanging for that value or that content is their attention. And you want them to like, you want them to share, you want them to follow you, right? And they all come to the compound as well. That's where everything happens. However, because of the low barrier of entry, loyalty and brand equity is very hard to build inside this part of the compound, right? And if anything happens tomorrow to our Instagram account or so, we lose all those people. So what do? We try to invite them into the innermost chamber, right? A stronger sense of community, a place where we offer them content. If the content they thought was value, was awesome, we are inviting them into another place where value is like, am I dreaming? Now, can someone give me examples of those kind of platforms that we think we can build a stronger community? Kingsley.
Yeah, Twitter. So I lead a community of photographers on Twitter, so I think it's a good platform.
Awesome. Now, the thing with Twitter is that you do not own those people. You don't have their data. You don't have their information. If your Twitter account goes and everything, you lose them, right? So we want to move them away from Twitter. And like Sheung and Temi have said, email is one of the go-to places for that, right? So we want to move them into that gated community. So, and it's smaller for a reason. Not all your Twitter followers are going to come over to your email. I hope are going to come over to your email list, right? And it's good, it's fine. Now, what is the purpose of this? The purpose of this, by the way, email list is one of the options. Another option could be an SMS list, right? Another one could be a Discord server. Another one could be a web app, right? That is giving informations. The most important thing is which platform will my target audience find intuitive, right? If your target audience don't have Telegram on their phone, why would you create a community and say they should join a Telegram group chat? And yes, this is a shade on all people that have Telegram group chats, right? So we want to think about the platform that they will feel comfortable on and everything. Now, there's a reason why it's smaller. It's smaller because in this place, we have people that want to say are more qualified, not more qualified, everybody's qualified, right? But they've shown extra interest in you, which means by the time we want to exchange an offering for beautiful WhatsApp, thank you very much, Damilola. WhatsApp, yeah. So WhatsApp is also a very good, strong community because we have their data, they use it very actively as well. So We basically know that when we want to convert, if we want to, which we should, they will be more willing to do that because we've always been giving and we've always been giving. Now, get a community manager. You are already running a business, and that's a lot of things. I'm assuming, I saw everything that everybody feels, and many people have employees, so you already understand the importance of leverage, right? So do the same thing. Get a qualified community manager that can run all these things for you, right? And remember that community building is a brand building tool that doesn't replace other efforts. It is just another blade in your Swiss knife. And yeah, don't go and cancel that retainer that you have with that consultant and say, Mofe said that we should do community. Yeah, disclaimer. Now, all these things that we've said, it's time to tie it all together. 1 second, please. Now, assuming that we all can see this image, right? So I will zoom in a little bit so we can see it clearly. So in all the things that we've said today, right? How do we tie it all together? One, we need to figure out how to become a friend to our target. In this case, our target is the deer. And please don't worry, we're not hunting them. Say no to animal mortality. But in this case, this is our target, all right? Yeah, this is our target, and we are trying to create the perfect offer that we want to deliver to them properly. And can we guess what the offer is? This clean water that we have over here. And our perfect offering, that this is not only water, this is clean, safe water in a rock pool that is accessible and guarded, that many dirt and things will not enter, right? That is the perfect offer. Now, we create a common ground through our mission. And what is our mission? The mission of these days is not to be thirsty. That is common ground. We've established that. We then craft a beautiful and unique recognizable identity that conveys the value of this beautiful water, which is what? The scenery. Beautiful place to drink water. You're not scared that one lion will come from the grass and come and just end you in a very, very terrible way, right? Next, we now tell a story that consistently bridges us. So to get to this place, they must have walked over a long bridge and they must have seen this on top of the mountain. That is the story that we tell for them to get to this place. However, we know that the offering is not enough. So what do? We go beyond the perfect offering and also offer plants around the rock pool. These plants are the other things that complement it, that make them choose this pool of water across any other thing, right? And when they have fellow deers in the other parts of ask them, why do you travel all the way down there to go and take water when there's water just at the side there? They answer, because they just get us. Yeah, they just choose you. So I want you to take this and see how you can apply it to your brand. And most importantly, remember that this takes time. Do you think this scenery just magically appeared? No, it had to be crafted by a designer. Do you think the deers also automatically got here? They must have journeyed a long time. So everything takes process and everything takes time, right? Well, so once we've built this brand equity that we're talking about, how do we convert it to credit alerts, which is very, very important? One, we give value, we give value, we give value, then we ask for business. This has been popularized by Gary Vee. I'm sure many of us know him. So basically, what the concept is all about is giving value most of the time, giving value most of the time. And it's very similar to Pareto's principle, right? Which explains so many things in this world, which is the 80%, 20% rule. And it's a rule that I've personally lived with for a very long time, and we also apply it to our clients' work, right? So we give 80% of the time and only ask 20% of the time. However, from personal experience, we've also noticed that if you keep on giving, giving, people will ask without you asking for something. People will just come and meet you and say, take, take. They will literally line up and say, take, take, take. Why? Because you've repeatedly shown that you know how to do this, you can execute it, and you give them three things. It's the same reason why when someone opens the door for you, you feel indebted psychologically to return that favor to the person, right? It's just basic human psychology, right? So we always want to give, give, give. So before you ask, ensure that you've given enough value. You've proven to the person that you are a friend. And when it's time to ask, you want to offer your community first. Make them feel like they're part of the community, right? So, for instance, if we are going to do something, right, at Craftos that involves everybody on this call, reach out to you first, saying, "Oh, we're doing this. You joined our call before, right? And we believe you'll be interested in this. You're special, so we want you to know that." We also give you community exclusive perks. For instance, this workshop and all, I'll explain more of that towards the end of the call. We want to create more of this, right? More often. And everybody on this call is getting a free gift, and you understand how that ties into it at the end of the call. So you also want to see how you can give community exclusive perks and find ambassadors within the community. There are people that really love what you do. How can you utilize that? And of course, always be transparent. Nobody's a fool. And I've actually noticed that many people think they're actually smart, right? And no, many people think they're smarter than people. But if everybody thinks they're smarter than people, should not think that everybody's equally smart. So when you're doing everything that you're doing, try to be as transparent as possible with everybody. Now, when the asks start coming in, how do you process it? Get a great landing page or website. You don't want to be manually responding to people and everything. Ensure that you have a system where you pull in all these things. You want to automate as much as possible. Instead of you doing all the work, get bots, get servers that do all these things for you, where you can work while you sleep. Your onboarding process should be as seamless as possible. And of course, you want to create a system that's beyond people. We all understand what it means to hire people. Now, what you want to do is have different people have different words for it. There's a SOP, there is a culture, there's a manual, it's a guide and different things. So basically, everything that you do in your business, systemize it and ensure that even if somebody leaves, you can still replicate everything that you are doing. And you get the best people on your team to implement the system, right? So while the system is always existing, the essence of the best people is always to add to that system, right? Because they are not robots. That's why they are free thinkers. You want to ensure you're always delivering quality. You want to document and show your process, because no workings, no evidence, you just keep on explaining. Get testimonials and show the public. Strengthen the loop, right? So, yes. Strengthen the loop. What does this mean? So when you deliver quality and you deliver it repeatedly to people, right, and you show the public, automatically more people want to join, and you utilize these people that join and their testimonials to create more people, and it's just a never-ending cycle. And most importantly, you should never forget that you move in silence or you move loudly, nothing in between. And one of my mentors, Greg Eisenberg, said that. So in all these things that we've done, as you build brand equity, as my good friend would say, carry your market on your head, which basically means focus your hustle. Like if you want to form mysterious, you can go and do that on the aesthetic part of Instagram, right? If you want to sell your market properly. We're not saying make noise as you sell your market, right? But offer value, do everything, and tie everything gracefully. And with that, we come to the end of the part where I talk and all. And yeah, go big. No mysterious body. No, there's no mysterious body and all. I'm so happy I was able to cram everything. I hope we could do it in 35 minutes, but 1 hour was it, right? And before I open the floor, I can see claps and everything. And the way, yes, we open the floor for questions and comments for 5 minutes, right? If you want to say thank you, there's only one way for you to say thank you, right? I need you to just share how much you've enjoyed this with your communities. So just say how much you enjoyed this, what you've learned, and everything. And of course, the meeting recording will be shared with everybody along with the templates as well. And for the gifts at the end that were promised on before we open the floor, is that later this year we'll be launching a community called 39 cents, right? And basically, what you're going to have in this community is you're going to have these calls monthly, right? In addition to many other things, direct access, consultation on your business and everything. It's going to be a close-knit community of brand owners that want to spark, like, yeah, just make your brand be awesome. It will be later this year. And because you've shown interest in this workshop, we're offering a 20% discount when you want to join. So when we announce, you automatically get a 20% discount. So here's the link. And this link closes today, by the way, tonight, right? So we know this recording will go out there. And also, if you're interested, you just sign this up and you join the wait list so that when we announce, you give us permission to reach out to you saying, hey, you can join us and you get 20% off your plan and all. So that's basically it. Thank you very much. And I will now open the floor to a few questions that are related to what we've spoken about, please. I will not, because of people's time, we'll take 3 questions, right? And also I want to call somebody that has not said anything on this call so far, right? So, Yusuf, you have a question. Is the answer for a question?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Mofair, and everyone on the call. So my question is this. So I know that for startups, there's always buyout. So what's the valuation for brand equity? How is it done, like in terms of money? So what's the valuation of brand equity?
Okay, beautiful.
That's
So, yeah, so brand equity is quite abstract, right? But we can calculate it. There are specific formulas, right? I'll point you in the right direction, please, of this. I remember I've seen it before. When it comes, and this is really important to incorporate like big institutions, you can actually do it. So sometimes you wonder why these big brands keep on doing adverts, keep on doing billboards and all, because you can actually measure awareness and all. So the same way you do split testing, by the way, split testing is a form of marketing, A/B testing, split testing is where you push out a campaign and just change one variable. So you can change the heading, change the color, change the image. So there are 2 identical creatives, right? But in one of them, you change like the headline, or you change the image, or you change the color, and you try to see which one performs better. So now, naturally, you scale that up, right? And you say in a campaign, we want 500 million people to be aware of our brand, right? So what we do is typically we have like 3 campaigns that we put out there. Most times, each campaign has a unique link, right? So we can track the brand awareness from that and all. So we know which one is bringing in more awareness. So the same thing applies when you're trying to track engagement and when you're trying to track conversion. On a macro scale, when you put all those things together, you can do it. And of course, you already have the most important thing is add data. The amount of people on your list, email list, SMS list that are actually qualified, the engagement that you get on your pages and everything, right? And all those things are calculated in your brand equity, and you can use it for your valuation as well. If you know somebody that wants to do valuation, let us know as well. We can help with that with brand equity and all. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to call Kingsley, please. Kingsley, next. Kingsley, you're muted.
Hi, Mufe. I can hear you. First of all, I want to say thank you for putting this together. It's been an exciting moment, Yeah, amazing. God bless you. So my question, I'm a photographer, right? So I want to ask, um, I want to I want to put me on the right direction in terms of positioning to attract, my potential client or my main target audience. Because as a photographer, like I sort of, practice various genres in photography. So I wanted to sort of put me in a better position that I can sort of position myself for, these ideal clients, right?
Okay, awesome, Kingsley. So just as we discussed earlier in the workshop, right? When you get this recording, I want you to scroll back. We covered that, right? So basically, it's all about knowing who your target audience is, know what they want. And I'm going to be very honest here. and I actually need to do this. Everybody on this call, please, you need to be very intentional with your target audience. You'll be surprised. Many people don't they just have a vague idea of who their target audience is. Actually go in depth, like know who they actually are. Right. Once you get the templates, they're literally slots where you can fill it out, right? Start from there. Next, you need to know how you can the kind of people that they're already interested in, right? So what are the other brands? Once you do that research, you know the other brands are interested in. So immediately you already know like the kind of things that they like, how we should position properly, and the kind of identity that you need to stand out. So I remember that when we talk about identity, we said that your identity must be beautiful, it must be unique yet recognizable, right? So that recognizable part is important because you don't want a product. So imagine you go to shop for a bar of soap, for instance, and as you shop for a bar of soap, you see something that looks like a jerry can, right? You see something that looks like a jerry can, and you skip it obviously. But that jerry can, there was a bar soap inside, right? It was not recognizable as a bar soap, right? So you need an identity that is also recognizable. So there's a fine line between all that, right? So when you scroll back, that place where we spoke about going beyond the perfect offering, that place, I would like you to go deep down into that, and yeah, you'll see awesome things there. We can take one more question. I know Ola raised up her hand earlier. Yes, Ola, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Ofe. So I just wanted to ask. I understand that some people say a brand carries the energy of like the brand owner, and I mean aside this, so I've looked at brands that I admire, and I'm glad that you use one of them, which is a fairly Nigerian brand like Andre Yama. And having like studied like their even just their Instagram page, it's giving like soft girl, luxury, classy, timeless, and it's beautiful, right? I don't exactly know their story or how they built that brand, but they definitely have a very strong brand or brand presence or branding. Anyway, as someone who is naturally like happy, bubbly, fun, I find that there's a thin line between branding with that vibe in quotes and coming off as rice, so to speak. And I'm just trying to, I guess my question is, how do you because again, at the end of the day, we want a bit of, or I want a bit of class in quotes associated with my brand, even if I want to show happy, fun, and all of that, beautiful stuff. So I'm saying, and I'm yet to find a brand who is doing it effortlessly, if that makes sense. So I'm just saying, how do we like, how do I measure that? How do I don't know if you understand my question. I'm not sure that I'm articulating it properly, but I hope you're able to read it into my head.
Yes, I get you perfectly. And in fact, interestingly, your question has two things I'm going to tackle, right? So firstly, uh, about one brand being like soft scale, like being branded, right? I want to make
Right.
something very clear is that branding is not packaging, and packaging in a Nigerian sense. So for our non-Nigerian listeners or watchers, everybody that's going to watch this in the future, there's a particular feeling that when something is luxurious, minimalistic, minimal, it is chic, it's soft, it's nice, it's muted, it's aesthetic. As TikTok comments,
Mm-hmm.
aesthetic won't blind me, right? All those things. We say that
Mm-hmm.
they have a brand. No, that's not brand. We've already established that a brand is just anything that you have a strong feeling for, is a perception, right? You are known for that thing, right? One of the strongest brands in Nigeria right now is Portable, right? That's it. He has one of the strongest brands. So I want to outline that just in
Right.
case for context, right? So if yeah, I think that does it. I think everybody understands that. Two, now the divide between the personal brand and corporate brand, right? It's normal, right? Your personal brand might not have the personality of your corporate brand, and that's fine, right? So what do we do in a case like that? Now, we have two options. One, we could mute ourselves a bit for the brand, and that's fine. All right. So we just tone it down a bit because we know that that is not the energy we want to portray. However, before we do that, we also need to consider that, are we actually sure that the existing people don't actually like that, right? So you need to split tests at this point to actually know, okay, do people actually like that? People come for that? People like that personality, right? And also, or how can I convey the personality without, to quote you, making noise, right? Do you understand? That's one way. Two,
Yeah.
it's not compulsory, even though if it's founder led, it's good. You could also have a community manager, right? Like if it's a creator that does all those things in that space, right? And three, which is
Right.
I would tilt to, it will be a combination of both of them, right? So instead of making all our posts around being led by the founder, which is you, or making all the posts aesthetics and all, let's combine everything, right? What do we have to lose? Nothing. Let's do one where we do this. Let's do one we do this, and let's do that for a 3 months period, and let's look at the results, and from there we'll know which one people actually like, because aestheticism will bring in credit alert, as they say. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Uh,
Right.
a very good illustration
Right.
again I've
Thank
on some pages is that the things that look fine, they look fine. But the purpose of those things that look fine is necessarily not to convert. So sometimes we might not judge them on that, right? We could judge them on is to create a mood, create a vibe. So know that some contents are made to create a mood and a vibe and not necessarily to convert. It's part of that scenery. Remember that scenery, that identity that we're building. So then we move into it. I feel like Ola, you need to also outline your brand strategy. I feel like your voice and tone is something that will require like a bit of fine tuning so that we don't experiment so that we move fast with experimentation and know what we're doing, right? Thank you very much.
Right.
Uh,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Taiwo, I know I said that's the last person, but tell me, please, tell me.
Okay, Mofe, thank you very much. It was a nice session. Then I don't know if I'm allowed. I just want to ship in something before I ask my question. Is that good? Okay. So I don't know what Ola does, but I'm a fashion designer. And in terms of personality and business, I'm also in that phase where I think I'm the opposite of Ola. I'm trying to put my bubbly self into my business because my business is giving a very lukewarm tone, not running away from it. So what I've done is my personality is very bubbly and all. So from my designs, you can tell the kind of person I am because most of my designs are colorful, they are fun, but yet classy. So I don't know what you do. You can also do that in your products without actually maybe dancing and all of that while marketing. So to my question,
Thank
um,
you.
you said something about when you're talking about how to convert brand equity to credit alert. You said give value 80% of the time and ask 20% of the time. Okay, my business is, of course, I'm asking. So how do I give? How do I model a dress without asking? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because me already putting up the product is automatically asking. Yes, it's a valuable product, but how do I give the value 80% of the time and maybe ask 20% of the time? I don't know if you understand, but that's
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. In fact, I think my next shot. By the way, if anybody's not following Mufadi, please, I think you should follow him. After following, what's his name? Gilmore. Yeah, you should follow Mufadi to counterbalance both of them and all. I think we address something like that, and I'll give you one illustration so that I'll just drive this home in a very short way. Are you familiar? You should be familiar with product placement, right? And brands do that a lot in movies. So you see in movies where you just see a bottle of Coke, a bottle of anything, and all, right? It's deliberate, right? And obviously, the movie makers were paid to put that thing there, all right? They did not say, come and buy Coke. They did not say, come and buy anything. They just placed it there. And automatically, you already have an association. You are aware of that. You already know it. Two, you watch a this illustration is directly from a TED Talk video I watched a couple of years ago. You're in a cinema, right? And you just finish watching a James Bond movie, and you're super pumped. We all know when we watch movies, we're immersed in the universe of the movie, right? And we are all super pumped. And you leave the cinema feeling like James Bond. Ah, I'm James Bond, I'm so bad guy. I know. All of a sudden, as you're going home, you're like, I need to look like James Bond. I think I should buy a Rolex. That would be a very good way. Why? Because I was wearing a Rolex throughout the movie. All right. So if you're creating value 80% of the time, you could create the value while the models are wearing the dresses. You are not telling them to buy the dresses. But remember that the content is coming out on your page. They can see it's your page. They will tap on your page for more content. They will see your bio. They will see the link and everything, right? So they automatically know they should buy the dress. You're offering value consistently, maybe giving them tips on fashion, how to style and everything. But your models are still on your dresses. It's still your account, so they know it subconsciously. And when it's time to ask, it's fine because they've been giving them value, giving them value, and you can directly ask. But remember what I said that when you give value, people will come to you even without you asking. Do you understand? So that'll be a very great way to do it. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Timmy. And that will be the final question we could take. We're 23 minutes late. I apologize about that, but I hope it has given you immense value. I want to thank everybody for I want to thank everybody for being here, and I really appreciate you. I thank you. I thank you, and I'm really impressed. Like, thanks for the love. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for giving me your attention. In this economy, attention is very expensive, and that you could stay with me for 1 hour, 30 minutes. I really, really appreciate that. And to say thank you, you get your gift on Monday, which is this call recording and a template, right? And my tailor's plug, yeah, my tailor is Pejade, right? And that's a brand that we're launching later this year. So look out for that and all. So yeah, they make the best clothes and all. And if you like this space that I'm in, that's also like a partner brand. That's just Nukes, best interior spaces and brands and everything. So also look out for that. So we're rolling out some nice things. Yeah. So tell me thank you. Share this with your community. Share the value. That's how you say thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. God bless you and adios. I'll be ending the call now. Thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate it. Till the next one, I will see you online and everything. All right. Bye.